You managed to survive the explosion. I'm impressed.
It's a shame you ran into an elite soldier who won't give up so easily.
It's true that for a Saiyan, you're not half bad.
I'm gonna have to pull out all the stops. I'd better get rid of him quickly, before being spotted by other enemies.
Now this should be interesting.
To save my strength for the coming battles, but he left me no choice! You better be ready.
I think this is the moment, this is the episode where I can finally see the difference in the animation style for Metwalik that we basically got in Saitama vs. Goku, because Saitama vs. Goku is a very highly detailed, very fluid and highly visceral type of animation that just flows so well, flows like water and seems extremely professional. Up to this point in Dragon Ball Ancestor, we've seen animation style that seems like basically Saitama versus Goku, but it still seems a little raw. This transformation scene, or this power-up scene from Zephyr, one of the characters in Ancestor, this is where I finally see the transformation from Metwalik and his early days of animating to what we see right now in Saitama versus Goku. This is professional animation at its finest. And one other thing, I absolutely love the power-up scene. Not a transformation, not a new form, it literally just is a power-up from Zephyr in his original form, and he's still in his original form, but now his power has been boosted 3 times over. This is extremely exhilarating animation with a really cool premise behind it.
What the?
Not over yet!
Yeah, let me play that again, Did you see that? He literally moved the key ball out of this dude's hand and threw it away. It's like, give me that, yoink, and threw it right out over his shoulder. That was really cool. It was almost like a football pass, and he completely dodged any sort of destruction from that key blast. The fighting is better, the action is better, the punches are better, the blasts are better. This is just all around better animation than we've gotten so far in this story. I absolutely love it.
Is he really that powerful? More than you can imagine. How have you managed to keep his body well all these years? It was originally on the planet of the Saiyans. Oh yes, it's true that you used to live there. At the time, it wasn't very populated. And had a climate suitable of preserving his body naturally. But over the years, the Saiyans began to proliferate and develop. The climate of planet Vegeta was going to adapt accordingly. And so his body was in danger of being damaged? That's exactly right, Rufus. His cryonics were the only thing saving him from death at the time. But global changes were trending towards global warming. If the body was lost, it would have been impossible to take advantage of his strength. I see. That's when you started looking for another place. That's correct. We've traveled the universe with that in mind. And we finally got our chance on planet Iceberg. I'd never seen a planet as cold as this one. It was perfect, so we decided to set up on it. And look, today he's even in a healing machine. He's doing well. And soon his power will be with us.
So Juja is the one that was living on planet Vegeta, or whatever planet Vegeta was called at this time, but he's basically an ally that betrayed the Saiyans. Now, in this scene, there are two different characters, and remember, Mondo is the voice of Juja, but I'm almost positive Mondo is also the voice of the other guy that's in this scene. So honestly, without seeing both of them, I mean, no disrespect to Mondo, because he's doing a great job with Juja, it sounds extremely similar, both voices, so it's kind of hard for me to tell which one's which, but trust me, as somebody who's tried to make several unique voices in one scene, it's just very difficult. One thing I do like about this scene is the explanation of who this guy is that Lord Berg is extremely interested in, because we do get it explained. Basically, this guy was on that planet originally and he was frozen in time, and now they are saving him on this planet and probably using or trying to use the energy of a Super Saiyan to revive him, or whatever the case is. But that just gives us a huge hint as to who he is. It is basically Yamoshi. This is going to be Yamoshi. I haven't seen ahead of this. There's only one more episode besides this that's out right now, but I'm almost positive that this is Yamoshi. I mean, who else is going to be? It just makes sense that it would be. And I like how it's almost like a storyboard, or like it's like he's telling a story in this. It's really cool that way. And on top of that, I love the song behind it. But yeah, this is basically Yamoshi, honestly.
Welcome to Planet Iceberg. I've been waiting for you.
I'm Emperor Vegeta, but you probably already know that. You didn't come all the way out here just to say hello.
I'm afraid there's no avoiding a face-off. I can't go against my orders.
I see what's wrong with you, but I'm in a hurry. I have some unfinished business with Lord Berg. If you plan on blocking my way, you're going to know my wrath.
I've been waiting a long time for an opponent who could defeat me.
You can rest in peace, because this place shall become your grave.
If you can free me from my ordeal, I would be grateful.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna hold my punches. You better do the same.
I couldn't have asked for a better answer.
Are you ready? Don't keep me waiting.
Besides Bardock, Emperor Vegeta is obviously my favorite character. He has the gravitas in every scene, sounds exactly like Vegeta in the dubbed version of Dragon Ball, and I love his design. It looks really royal, it looks like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and in this scene, honestly, I love his stare down with this guy, because this guy is one of the top fighters on this planet, so he's not any pushover at all. But the coolest part about this is the transformation or the power-up that we got. We got a huge Saiyan power-up at the beginning of this episode with Zephyr, but this guy is getting basically a different type of power-up. No yelling, no screaming, no explosion. It literally is just electricity coming off his body, but you can tell that he has powered up, that he has gotten stronger, and I love the variety of power-up and power-up moments in this anime.
Take this! What? Take this!
Get wrecked! Take this!
The explosion effects in the clouds are just so deliciously cloudy. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks like a professional anime. It looks like Studio Bones made this actually. But honestly, the really cool thing about the fight scene here is that it seems like a heavyweight boxing championship. It seems like these are two heavyweight boxers, and at one point they're even just standing there boxing at each other, which I thought was pretty cool. The funny thing is, I think that Etoile, you probably should get a little bit more diverse dialogue when they're fighting, because I believe they both said take this several times at each other, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, something different would be a little bit, more, give it more variety for the scene. But either way, the fight scene itself, you don't even think about that stuff. I do, because I'm a reviewer.
Tornado! Attack!
He's way too powerful. I have no choice but to use this technique. Ha! An opening!
Zephyr's opponent waited for that opening beautifully, and the animation portrayed that. You got to see the glint in his eye, the electricity that was coming off of it, because that is the visual representation of the opening that he saw. But then he becomes enveloped in that ki, and that ki is fast enough for him to get a direct hit on Zephyr. The back and forth in all these fight scenes have a way about them that actually make a lot of sense and are really interesting to watch. They're all very, very different, and I'm honestly warming up to Zephyr as a character. I mean, that tornado kick at the beginning, that was really cool, and I would love to see more of that in actual Dragon Ball, where they're actually using abilities and they're naming techniques in their fight sequences instead of just punching and kicking randomly.
proud of yourself. You're going to be the first to witness this technique. But you're going to pay for this with your life.
There's something weird about this energy sphere. Impossible. I have the same feeling as when...
I'm going to teach you the true meaning of power!
Wow, did this guy literally use an attack, a key ball, to initiate a transformation for himself? It's not anything different than what we saw where Vegeta used the key ball to transform into an Uzaru to mimic a moon, but this is a little bit more intense. It's a little bit more personal because he uses the key ball to mesh with him. He becomes the key ball and the key ball becomes him, and that is what initiates the transformation. If Zephyr was smart enough and knew exactly what was going on, he could have stopped this from happening a long time ago by stopping the key ball from being formed, which honestly, to have this being a transformation, it is a detriment. It is something that could be turned against him because you could easily stop him from transforming. But with Zephyr not knowing, this guy transformed, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Honestly, I really am. But I do hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.